Good morning, Rockets. Welcome back to school. I want to talk to you today. I'm Miss Anderson, and Miss Peggy and I are going to talk to you a little bit about what we expect from you in the library this year. First thing I want to talk about is our RES. Your classroom teachers may have talked to you about this, about how you're trying to get rocket fuel to pump it up and win awards for your class and for your grade level and school-wide. So when you come to school each day, you're thinking R is your responsible behavior, and E is excellent attitude, and S is having smart choices that you've made. So how does that look like for you guys in the library? So the first one is L for listen. Under responsible behavior, it's really huge that you listen to Miss Peggy and I and you follow directions. Stay on task. Make sure that when we're reading our story that you are with us and you're part of the group and you are listening. And also, whenever you're supposed to be doing your checkout, stay on task. You don't run in the shelves. You don't get distracted. Be prepared. What does that look like in the library? Being prepared is bringing your agenda, making sure that you can check out your books, making sure you bring your books back and you take care of them. For excellent attitude, I always want you guys to participate and make sure you show respect. And then smart choices, have self-control. Do we run in the library? No. Do we yell and scream in the library? No. Have self-control. So that's showing RES. Now let's look at the next slide, okay? So for this one, what happens? What happens if you don't follow RES? Okay, so we have the stoplight. Red is always stop. Yellow is a warning, and green is go. Green is where we want to be. The first thing would be you would get a warning. And this is student or class. You would get a warning. And then for a student, if you look right here, you've got separation of seat. That means that maybe you wouldn't be sitting at the carpet with everybody else. Maybe you wouldn't be sitting at a table with everybody else. And then no centers. For those of you who are new to Rockville, we have our library day. As you come in, we have a story, we have a lesson, we do checkouts, and then we have centers. And some of you guys love that part. Well, if you're not showing me RES, no centers. And then the next one is a behavior note. There is a note that would go home and a note that would go to your teacher. Now, as a class, right here it says lose points. We're going to talk about the points because that's your rocket fuel. And then the no centers as a class. Okay, so for our points, you have a chance for 5 points every day. 5 points is what you want to get. So you have 5 points when you come in here. And if you keep your 5 points, you get 2 coins for your rocket fuel bucket. If you get 4 points, you get 1 coin. You can lose points. So you could get down to a 3 or a 2 or a 1, and you would not have any coins or any rocket fuel. And then this little shelf elf here, our golden shelf elf, that's for our library because I keep track of your points for you, and the best class of the whole 9 weeks for kindergarten and first and second and third and fourth and fifth, they get a special party. In 5th grade, it's a really special party. I'll tell you more about that later. So let's look at the next slide. So how do you earn your fuel? When you come in, the first thing that you're going to do, you're trying to get these 3 points right here for our day. When you come in the room, you come in quietly. You do not run. And you will have a home base for you to put your notebook. For kindergarten, that's a little something different for you. But first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, you guys will have a table to put your notebook. So that is your place. You also, some of you will have a carpet spot. So you have to make sure you're doing those things. You're doing that quietly and you're following directions. And then right here, story time. Whenever we do our lesson, remember you participate, you listen, you stay on task. Our activity, sometimes I plan scavenger hunts. Sometimes I plan different things that you get to do. Checkouts, that's a huge part too. We're not pushing, we're not shoving, we're not being loud. So that's 3 points. 2 points. Your centers. When you're at the center tables, you are doing that quietly. You are not being loud. You're not standing in the chairs. You're not being unkind to each other. You want to show respect and be kind. And then you'll get a warning, a 5-minute warning for cleanup. You have to make sure you clean. And then you'll go back to your home base. And then when we line up at the front doors and we wait for our teacher. So that gives you a chance to earn 3 points for this part of the day, 2 points for this part of the day, which equals your 5 points for your rocket fuel. Now, you guys, let's talk about where things are in the room. So we've got on this big screen here is where I always put your book that we read from, and we have the 2 screens that you can see. We also, I've kind of redone some things. Miss Peggy and I have been working hard this summer on things. This is your wall of centers and your different supplies that you get to use. These things will be out on the tables, and for my big kids, some of you guys get to come over here and pick what you want to use. And here is our golden shelf elf. He is watching us to make sure that we make good choices. And we have our reminders about being responsible, excellent, and smart, our RES. And we also have your classes. Some of you guys may be using the universal symbol for bathroom, or you might be for I agree, or I have a question. So those are the things we'll be using here too. Okay, so let's talk about our space. So over here on this wall by the windows, we have all kinds of new shelves. You may notice that the whole wall is bookshelves now. So here we have the fairy tales, the folk tales, and the poetry. We have a whole shelf of those things. Here's your sign to know what they are. Any of the kids can get these. 1st grade all the way through 5th grade, you can get on this shelf and get some different ones. For the letter P, if you guys like Patricia Polacco, she is a great author. She's on the P shelf, and all of this is letter P. You've got R now, you've got S, Skippy John Jones and Dr. Seuss are this shelf. You've got T through V, and you may notice that we've got the Teacher of the Year pictures up here on this shelf now. So you can always see what teacher was the best one for RES for the year. And we keep going. We've got all of our shelves here. Now, you guys, who loves Dogman? Who loves Ricky Ricotta and Captain Underpants? If you want those books, they are here on this shelf. Here is where you have your easy chapter books. They have moved. Make sure you pay attention, okay? So they have moved for you. We also, here underneath Spider-Man's feet, is where we have our Barbie books, our Star Wars, our Spider-Man, our superheroes. Lots of different ones are on this shelf. Now, a biography, that is a book about a real person. And nonfiction means that it is a real book. So right here starts our real books, our easy nonfiction. So from this wall, from right here on this wall, all the way down to the doors, all of these books are real. So you have books about people, you have books about animals, you have books about outer space and planets, and all of those are here. Now, whenever you're looking for your books, remember you always are using a shelf marker because you want to make sure you don't leave a crazy mess over here. And you want to make sure you know where things go. The shelf marker, you always put it on there. If you pick out your book, you look at it, you decide if you want this one or not. If you want it, you check it out. If you don't, you put it back where the shelf marker is. And you take your shelf marker out and you put it back in your baskets. Okay, so this is our nonfiction. Picture books, fiction, all of this shelf, this short shelf here, and all the way down. All of these are picture books. So if you love a book that has lots and lots of pictures in it, And we have different color levels. You guys no more yawning. Don't be yawning while you're listening to the video, remember? So you guys, this is the picture book section. You may have noticed this top of this shelf looks different. These books, all of these books are for 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade only. These are chapter books. So these are 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade only. 1st grade doesn't pick from here. 2nd grade doesn't pick from here. These are all for the big kids. Speaking of big kids, you guys, these are your shelves. This shelf here and this shelf here, these are chapter books. The wall behind me, that is your nonfiction. And you've got numbers at the top of those shelves. We'll talk more about those numbers. It's the Dewey Decimal System, and you have the numbers mean something. So that's where you have for your nonfiction. There's also some series books. Miss Peggy and I have moved Star Wars series over here on this shelf. So there's Star Wars, there's Harry Potter, those of you like that series, and there's some Infinity Ring, there's the Shannon Messenger, the Keeper of the Lost Cities are over there. So over on this wall where the globe is and down, those are series. Now what if you want to know about a real person and you're thinking like 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, you guys can read higher levels. Over on the wall by the big screen, over there we have our biographies. And if you like any of those Who Was books or What Was books, there's a whole section of those. That series awesome. And so you have that wall as a section. Okay, you may notice on the tables that you have baskets. So this is for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You have your baskets. These baskets have some shelf markers in them. They also have reading logs in them because I always love that you guys read, and if you fill up your log, you get a treat. So you have some different things in here for my big kids. So this will be your home-based tables. We've got 8 tables. 1 starts there, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You will have a spot. And you guys, we have lots planned for you for this year. We'll talk more about checkouts and how to do checkouts, and we'll talk more about centers and the computers and all the things that we have planned later on. I hope you have had a great first day with us in library, and we will be doing some fun things this year. See ya.